The fifth field on the control panel regulates the volume settings. In the four modes that reference volume, you'll use the first knob to set the tidal volume, between 2 and 4,000 milliliters, in relation to the CMV frequency you have already set in the previous field. The tidal volume you select appears in the first window. By the way, all flow measurements and volumes in the SV300 are referenced to standard pressure. If you need conversion tables for ambient pressure, you'll find them in the control panel chapter of your operating manual. The second window displays the set minute volume in liters per minute. When using the SIMV volume control plus pressure support mode, this window displays the mandatory minute volume that corresponds to the tidal volume and SIMV rates you have already set. The next three windows display measured values. The first two display the inspired and expired tidal volumes for each breath in milliliters. Some variance between these values is normal. The last window displays the expired minute volume in liters per minute. As we noted earlier, these volumes are different for each patient range. For adults, the maximum measurable volume is 3,999 milliliters. For pediatrics, it's 399, and for neonates, it's 39. If these levels are reached, all three of these displays will start flashing and you will get a technical alarm with an overrange message. We'll review alarm messages later in this tape. Right now, let's discuss the alarm limit knobs. Note that they are in red, indicating their importance to patient safety. If you select the neonate range in the first field, the light near neonate comes on to remind you that the alarm scales have been reduced by a factor of 10. Remember, you can set the upper limits between 0 and 60 liters per minute for adults and pediatrics, or between 0 and 6 for neonates. The lower limits for adults and pediatrics are 3/10 to 40 liters per minute, or 6/100 to 4 liters per minute for neonates. The alarm limits you set are displayed in two bar graphs in this field. The left-hand one displays readings from 0 to 2 liters per minute, while the right-hand one displays readings from 2 to 20 liters per minute. On both bar graphs, the left-hand diodes are red and the right-hand diodes are green. The upper and lower limits you set each appear on the bar graphs as two pair of diodes. In both cases, read the limit at the lower pair. If you set the upper limit above 20 liters per minute, the lower pair of the upper limit diodes will flash. If the upper limit is exceeded, both pair will flash. Likewise, if you set the lower limit knob at its lowest setting, or if the volume drops below the lower limit you have set, the lower limit diodes will flash. A single pair of flashing diodes displays the measured expired minute volume. Another pair of steady diodes displays the preset minute volume, but when it equals the measured volume, this pair is hidden behind the flashing pair. The sixth field on the control panel regulates the concentration of oxygen and sets alarm limits. Use the first knob to set the percent of oxygen between 21 and 100%. Note the safety catch at 60%. The window displays the percentage you select. The ventilator sets alarm limits automatically, 6% above and below the set percentage. In addition, there is a built-in minimum alarm limit of 18% oxygen. If you switch the second knob from its neutral position to oxygen breaths, the ventilator delivers 100% oxygen for 1 minute or 20 breaths, whichever comes first. Then it reverts automatically to the preset oxygen concentration. If you set the knob to oxygen breaths again before the cycle is complete, the ventilator reverts to the preset oxygen concentration immediately. When you select oxygen breaths, the yellow oxygen breath running light comes on and the window reads 100%. At the same time, the ventilator overrides alarms related to oxygen concentration for 2 minutes. If you switch this knob from neutral to start breath, a manual breath is delivered according to the values you have set. If you are in one of the SIMV modes, moving the knob to start breath activates a mandatory breath. When you do this, make sure the patient has enough time for expiration between breaths. Before reviewing alarms, let's look at pause hold, the last field on the control panel. Moving the knob from neutral to inspiratory pause hold closes the inspiratory and expiratory valves at the end of inspiration for up to 5 seconds. Moving the knob down to expiratory pause hold closes both valves at the end of expiration for up to 30 seconds. This allows you to take an exact static measurement of the end expiratory lung pressure or to measure intrinsic or auto PEEP.